Let's get some thoughts from London. I'm joined by Marcus Papadopoulos, editor of Politics First magazine, to talk more on this. Hi there, Marcus. Why do you think the UK media have focused so much attention on Vladimir Putin, as we've just said there, so little on the British Prime Minister's tenuous connections as well?
Well, first of all, this is the latest attempt by British media and Western media to demonise Russia's leader, even though President Putin hasn't been explicitly named in the Panama Papers. They're still of the opinion that he is guilty. But we need to ask ourselves, why is there so much focus by Western media, British media, American media, on Russia's leader? And what we can say is that for the last 10 years or so, there has been a concerted effort by Western media to portray, to denigrate President Putin. And why is that? Simply because under President Putin's leadership, Russia has grown very, very strong at home and very, very strong abroad, which is not to the West's liking. Of course, the American and the British governments, they would like the Russia of the 1990s under Yeltsin, when Russia was on its knees. Russia had effectively become a pauper state and was dependent on the IMF. However, under President Putin and his policies, all that has been reversed, and we have a very confident Russia domestically. It still has problems, but it's confident, and we have a resurgent Russia on the international arena. And for many in Washington and London, that is President Putin's greatest sin, that Russia is again, as it did in Soviet times, it is again in 2016 challenging Western global hegemony.
Well, the Kremlin has made comment this morning about this release, and it's the juxtaposition of the pictures and the story, the whole kind of thing, isn't it? You know, as we've been saying, Vladimir Putin's spokesman reacted by describing, and reading here, the media trend as, quote, Putinophobic. He went on to say it seems that the media is not allowed to say anything good about Russia anymore. It doesn't seem like that's an overstatement, as you say these days, does it?
I would agree. I would totally agree with that statement. You know, Western media, as I said, is relentlessly pursuing President Putin because they feel uncomfortable that Russia in 2016 is strong. But I would also add another note, certainly from Britain's perspective. This is nothing new. Ever since Britain established diplomatic relations with Russia in the 1500s, Britain has always had a very suspicious attitude towards Russia, a very hostile attitude towards Russia, be it in Tsarist times, in Soviet times, and in the present. So this is quite a usual characteristic of Anglo-Russian relations.
Let's broaden it out a bit now. There are a lot of other cases. This is a huge leak. Edward Snowden's called it a massive leak this morning, and he's a guy that knows about those kind of things. This leak mentions over 140 politicians from all over the globe. Are they getting similar attention from what you've read this morning? Seems not.
Well, certainly foreign leaders who have been implicated in this are receiving attention, but without a doubt, it's the Russian leader who's under the spotlight. But then, Kevin, we need to look at these journalists. If we take British media, both print and broadcast, these are the outlets who, for example, alleged in 1999 that 500,000 Kosovan and Albanians had been murdered by the Serbs, which was an absolute and utter lie. These are the same people who alleged that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. I remember at the beginning of 2003, British media was advising ordinary people in Britain to buy foil, to wrap themselves in foil because there could be a chemical attack from Iraq, to buy lots of bottled water because Iraqi agents, guided by Saddam Hussein, will come into Britain to poison the reservoirs. So these journalists who are taking on this anti-Putin charge, they've got no morals, they've got no principles, and they lack professionalism, and they are very much a part of the Western political establishments, certainly when it comes to foreign affairs.
Marcus, thanks for being with us. Marcus Papadopoulos, editor of Politics First magazine. Appreciate it. Now, this reaction that's come in the last few hours from the Panama